Good morning, folks. Shift has ended and I'm at the forge. It's Wednesday, it's forging day. So I have this little piece of cut-off from the Waggonwheel Tire from the other project, and yeah, I can't bring myself to scrap that one, so I think I'll try and make a small knife, EDC or something. Let's see. I've got some 1.5 hours on hand. Let's see what we can get. So here we go. First things first, safety glasses. I never believed that I would need them until I got a hot piece of scrap just beneath my eye. Not in the eye, well, lucky me, but just beneath it. So since then I try to remind myself of wearing the safety glasses when I'm at the forge. So this is the first go, just flattening the piece a bit. Had a little bow in it. By the time I realized that I got, well, something in my eye that was scratching me, and so I had to put the whole gear off again and get the whatever it was from my eyes, and then reattach all the safety gear and stuff to be safe. So the forge is already hot. You might have noticed that I have just skipped a few seconds of time here to well, not have you looking at me wandering around the shop and waiting for the forge and the piece to get hot, so just cut that away. So now first I got to make this thing, well, square and flat and to the right size and thickness. So that will take a while. So I might as well take the time to give you a short overview of what we're doing here. Hardysteels, the Facebook website, is my project. It's something I started when I started making knives and forging knives. That was 1 year ago, so I'm 1 year into the craft. I learned all the essential skills from Tommy. You will hear me mentioning his name often because he taught me the basics and brought me to the virus, to the blacksmithing virus. He's guilty. He's to blame for that. Yeah, but this is our project. We made this smithy up together, and we're working together there and making knives and fun projects, and it's pretty cool. It's what I've been searching for many years of my life, and I think I'm settled there now. So by that time I felt fit to start isolating material for the handle. What I know now was a bit too quick to do so, but yeah, we'll come to that later. The tool is a guillotine. I had that thing built with Tommy, one for him, one for me. That is a pretty much basic tool to isolate material and to fuller material very precisely. Very useful tool. If you ever get your hands on one, take it. So this is my double diagonal peen hammer. this is a pretty cool thing. I bought that at an old factory, an old hammer factory here in Germany. The interesting thing is that the diagonal pins, if you turn the hammer around, you can switch between widening and lengthening. So, and you only have to hold the hammer in 45 degrees to the workpiece and not the 90 degrees. So that makes it a bit of, well, more comfortable to work with. So here I'm lengthening the steel now. Was way too thick and way too short and way too beefy and way too everything, so just had it shaped a bit more. So by the time I was starting to realize that this piece of metal had a crack in it that had to be cut off. So it was lucky for me that this was the crack is just at the tip, so I wouldn't lose many material by just hot cutting it off. So I did just that. As you can see, my my camera moving skills in the materials are not that super Bruce Lee Kung Fu like, but well, this is the first video and I'm just practicing it. Well, I'm proud of it. Looks good. My first production, and it takes really unspeakable amounts of time to edit all the material and all the footage. So I'm glad that I've done it. Next one is already at work. So now I'm starting to hammer in the tip. Yeah, by the time I think I realized that I was too quick with isolating handle material at that point, and that it wouldn't work that way. So I thought I had to get down the whole line of the knife and start over. Nice, cool thing at blacksmithing is it's for some errors you make, you can just fix them by hammering it back. So otherwise, well, you just make shorter knives. So there I was going on hammering it back straight and square to get the thickness first, and from the ready thickness, well, then going to hammer in the shape. Always with me my super special hammer, where I can really advertise it. If you ever get your hands on one, just take it, try it, take it. This thing is so cool. This is a 1.5 kilogram hammer. Tommy got a smaller one, 1.25 kilograms, which is cool. But if you want to go forward, the 1.5 is your choice. So when I'm hammering in the tip, the curve to the tip of the blade, see, I have it just hanging over the edge of the anvil, and I'm holding the hammer just a bit sideways, just angled, and that works fine for me. So I had something else in the meantime I worked on. This is how I use the gas properly. So normally I have two pieces in the forge that I switch off hammering to not waste so much propane, so much energy. Yeah, well, more than one iron in the fire. So now I'm nearly onto shape there, and I can go on isolating material for the handle now, because now I think the thickness is ready. It's how I wanted it to be. So there I'm just painting lines on the anvil to make the isolating of the handle material easier. It's in fact just an orientation for a second. So you see, orientation, then get in the notch on the edge, and this is my mark. From there I go, and yeah, pretty easy. I use soapstone chalk or soapstone to paint on the anvil, because that is a bit more heat resistant. Cool thing, try it. So at that point I needed to make up my mind about how I wanted the handle to look and how I wanted it to be shaped. So I just draw some lines on the anvil to make up my mind just about the design and the looks and stuff. And yeah, you will see it in a few seconds. I had a rough idea, but I wasn't so sure about the details and all the little angles and whatever. So this is, while the piece was heating up, I just, well, laid it out, scratched marks, whatever. Well, made up my mind. So that was what I came up with. That is the look I wanted to go. So pretty simple, easy, and very, very good looking, I think. It's a cool design, and that was the way to go. So I had to hammer in another angle at the rear side of the handle of the bot. And you see, same technique as I do with the point. Just hold the hammer sideways and hammer from sideways over the edge of the anvil. Works pretty good for me. Yeah, well, I've seen that technique, I think, at Hardysteels videos or at Black Bear Forge. Well, I tried it and instantly adapted it. It's cool. So I tried to I did the straightening in the vise, just a few squeezes, and the biggest of the curves are gone. This is it's easy and quick. It's not perfectly straight. I don't know. I really stink at straight forging. Don't know why, but yeah, well, that's the case. Yeah, that was me playing around with camera moving and overblending and whatever. It's not that cool, but yeah, I tried it. So now I got a bit rid of the forge scale. I have, yeah, you see, you can. I don't have the big wire brush. I have only that thingy. So if you slap the scale, then it usually breaks off. I also wet the brush to yeah, well, to brush the piece down from temperature to go into the oven, and works for me. It works. So now I'm off to annealing the piece. I don't have a bucket of vermiculite. I just have the forge, so I put the things in the forge when I'm done. Kill the flame and just let it cool down with a closed forge. Works for me. Works good. I got some bags of vermiculite there, but I don't have a bucket yet, so that's the way to go. Ready for the day. So that's the result from that morning. I've done it in 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's already quite shapy. Yeah, I got that curve that needs to go half an inch to the tip. But otherwise, it's nearly straight, nearly flat. It's already hammered to shape, and I think I'm proud of it. So thanks for watching, and make sure to see the rest of the movie in part 2 of the video. That was part 1.